Mama se kungi betengo we kumoyi ingumada takana. Okyoso kinu kibanga se Manuele ngando mushisamye. Manuele.
Hello and welcome to episode 32, part B, with the wonderful Miss Tania Mendonca. I'm gonna keep this intro pretty short, man. If you have not seen part A, please go see part A before you start part B. Not much to say, man. Great conversation with the wonderful Tania Mendonca, man. If you find value with this, I want to ask that you please leave a like and subscribe. And if there's no value to you, then don't worry about it. But this is a continuation of an amazing conversation with an amazing woman. Please enjoy. So you start traveling and everything. At what point did you start taking teaching seriously? Like what made you, start taking it seriously?
It was pretty much from reading, really. As soon as I realized that how much people starting to love this dance gender and how much energy people were putting in it, and it blown me away. I mean, we were very, I told you, segregated in Portugal, and every time you go to a club, you would just see everyone was dark. Apart and Rikita. She was the only light-skinned girl in the whole place. So it was very much our own thing, and to an extent, it was very much of a discriminated type of music and dance, because the Portuguese never really acknowledged as something serious, and it always been something that, for them to do.
Okay.
This is on past, not now. Now it's different, but at the time, like that, it wasn't recognized as something that, to see people from a different language, a different culture, observing and adoring our culture like that, well, it was mind-blowing. I remember playing Kizomba, and then if my friends will come, I'll change the music because I would be embarrassed, because they was like, oh, you're not listening to that crap again, So to see that, it blew me away, and I was like, I felt I had the responsibility to actually do it. It was like, I have to teach, because look at, and I had students. I had students that appreciate my work so much that, I told you I would travel all over the villages.
Right. Yeah.
Okay, and these guys will follow me everywhere.
Okay.
Reading, he would be in Reading. I would go to Southampton, he'd be there. If you go to Portsmouth, he'd be there. If I go to Bournemouth, he'll be there. I'm like, they're taking really this serious.
And dedication.
Plus, they'll go, they'll pay, they will pay, and they'll travel, they'll drive 3-4 hours if they needed to be, just to go and have a class with me, and that to me was amazing. So it inspired me to be better, to work harder, and it was never, and it still never is about the money, and that may be a problem, because never we see other people charging often a lot of money for shows and workshops and all that, and a lot of us are still just in a low key, and we're not ever going to be mainstream famous, because I'm not willing to put my butt selling in a YouTube, just
Yeah. No, but let me say this real quick. Talent always rises to the top, though. That's just how it works.
I guess.
No, it does. It does.
I hope. We can hope, right?
Yeah.
And of course, it would be the most dream to be able to live out of this. And I know people who do, because they have schools. They organize themselves in a different way, and they branded these as the Kizomba as a brand. So they are making quite good money, and they travel and are very well known. Not my case, because I took a different approach. I didn't focus so much in the dance. I want people to understand the culture, and they're not most popular classes, if it makes sense.
Okay. Yeah. Real quick. A quick question. Um, when do you think you opened Kizomba Reading? What year do you think that was?
When did I start it? When
Yeah.
did oh my god, 10 years ago.
Okay. So back 2009, you think?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Mhm.
For sure. I want to ask you this.
When I started to teach Kizomba outside the community, because up to then it's just friends who wanted to learn and they come to my house and I'll teach them, as friends, as just
I
friends.
understand that. Yeah.
Community outside the community was around 2009. Yes.
Okay. I want to ask you this for something that you've been doing since you were a child, dancing. How do you get better? It's always room for improvement, but how did you get better at dancing Kizomba?
Well, for myself
For you, of course.
well, for me, it's about um, reinventing yourself. There's always something I remember that makes me remember that okay, this is not explored yet. Maybe I should explore this because this was so. Uh, I always led and follow, but I wasn't a great leader because I was most of a, more.
Okay.
So to become a dance teacher, I had to learn how to do
Yes.
good lead, and to become a really good lead, you have to surround yourself with people who you admire. You have to really practice a lot. Have a lot of girls who are willing to, and unfortunately, that was my daughter. she had to. She had to be the one that's like, I need to learn these steps. Someone did this to me, and I need to learn and I'm trying to do that. It's to be able to pay attention to what's going on in Angola because the dynamics of the dance, if you allow me to explain to you how it works, is so in Angola we have the ghettos, right? We used to call them the museques, which are the provinces. So they were classified as because the floor is still dirt, it's not concrete, so therefore it's not considered a city. You see, it's more of an outskirt.
Okay.
So those are the raw Semba Kizomba moves come from.
Okay.
From the ghettos, from the ghetto, like from the
Yeah.
real creators. Those are the real foundation of the dance. Up till
Yeah.
today, that's where the creativity comes from. That's where everything starts. As he reaches the city, like Luanda, and is now that step consumed in a different environment, in a more of a classy, club-orientated environment, it gets refined, if it makes sense.
Yeah.
So a step that was danced with a lot of maybe stamping on the feet. I'm just giving you an example, right?
Yeah. I got you.
With an open frame because it's danced in the dirt, in an outdoor environment, you now go and take that same step to a club in Luanda, still dance with Africans, still in Africa, but in a club environment or in a wedding, let's say, he becomes a little bit more, less organic,
Right.
right? As he reaches Lisbon, which is then the other, he takes another filter and he gets
Yeah.
it. And then now he becomes a lot more closer, a little bit more elegant, slightly smaller steps. I don't know if you understand what I mean.
No, I would definitely understand. Yeah.
Lisbon to Europe, what's something that was, it's about connection and it just have that musicality, but still African dance by Africans, observed by Africans. Now it's broken down in steps with a 1, 2, 3 pattern.
Right. Yeah.
Right, Baba, this is a Saida, this is man Saida, this is an now. To us, it's still just a dance. They come from there, from the ghetto. They had all these steps up to come,
Yeah.
but it's still dance between Africans, and we still have an understanding. We still didn't take the African root of it. We still didn't change it that much. We just kind of, let's call it polished, if you wish, right?
Yeah.
Because we're in a different environment. If I dance with my brother, I dance differently from my dancing with you.
Right.
Right? If I dance with my boyfriend, it'll be dancing different from my dancing with my uncle.
Of course, of
Yeah,
course.
so the way different we approach. If I dance in a outdoor barbecue, then I'm flip flops and shorts. It would be different than if I am short mini skirt and high heels in the club.
Yeah, exactly.
Do you see what I'm trying to say about
Of
as far?
course, yeah, yeah.
So, but we're still dancing by Africans in a club in Lisbon by Africans, but just in a different environment. We're now on heels. We have mini skirts. We have, blah blah blah. Uh, as it reaches Europe, there's a need of breaking down this step into a routine by an European teacher who doesn't have that African background and understanding of all these
Right.
nuances of how to dance with a brother and how to dance with an uncle. They never even experienced dancing with an uncle before. So then the step gets lost in translation and it becomes a pattern. It becomes
Right. It's yeah,
for
it's
you
like it's being mimicked.
as a teacher, for me to be able to keep that foundation raw, but teaching to Europeans or Americans, it's a challenge. So that's how I
That
challenge.
is, that is.
Answering your question, all this is to answer your question. How do I keep myself? It's by doing that dynamic of how do I not let this step lose its originality?
It's the
How
essence, the
do I take
soul.
justice to the people, the real creators of dance, of this move or this, and I bring it to Europe and teach Europeans, but let them appreciate what this step means and how do we listen to the music and how do we perform this dance as opposed to I'm just going to break it down in left, right, 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7. That's not. I will never be that teacher. I don't
Okay.
want to be that teacher.
Yeah,
So
you're losing a part of it. You're definitely. I want to ask you this two. I want to say 2 points. Of like what you just said. I feel like, well, the first thing, a lot of what I see as hip hop dancing in America today, I, a lot of it I see coming from like African dances. A lot of it. I'm just so astounded by that.
yeah, it's the mother of all creation.
It's
That
like, yeah, it's like
it,
I'll see little kids dancing and I'll be like, okay, I see, such and such doing that, in America right now. It's astounding.
yeah, because that's what the creativity comes from. That's what I mean, one of the things that it strikes me to see, like in Angola, you would go to Angola and you probably have these kids who hardly know how to write and read, you know
Make it dance.
and and they just cleaning cars and washing cars, and uh, they have hardly any education of any sort, but they can speak kuduro lyrics and the top of their head. They don't have a paper. They never read. And they just it flows. And the amount of memory that these kids have in their heads is just outstanding. And I remember that we didn't take much. All you need to do is just having two people doing this, and that would be enough for my brother to pick me up and start dancing. We
Okay.
don't. It doesn't take much. You've seen kids with cans of
Right.
and the scissors, and he did music and he's dancing. I don't know if you've seen these videos in YouTube and Instagram. Now it's very popular. How from nothing we make music and we dance from nothing, literally nothing, and that's always has been our reality from ever. I remember the guy used to look after me back in Angola. Uh, One day I was ill, and he made me a song, and he made an instrument. He literally made an instrument from a tin of milk. We had dry milk because we didn't all we had was tin food and dry things in tins because we didn't have fresh things.
I understand. Yeah.
And then he made an instrument with just that kind of milk, and he made song like that, just like that. And up to today's date, I still sing that song because I remember I was only like,
Okay.
oh, but I remember that song because that's how you express.
Yeah.
My dad, I told you my real dad has passed, and then my uncle, his dad, took over the role of dad to me, my family, and he happened to pass exactly a month. It's gonna be a month tomorrow. So
Okay.
I was in Angola and I call him dad to his funeral, and we buried him. His coffin was going down. We were singing. because singing, it's the way we celebrate. Everything is about, we were singing. We were singing his favorite songs.
Okay.
But I mean, it's not something we do just when we're happy. We do it all the time. It's part of us. It's part of us from birth. And we thought, how was the best way to honor his life, if not dancing and singing the way he used to be in life? So that's what we did.
Yeah.
Put you in perspective on how things are. So
Yeah.
it's extremely important that people understand that. And a lot of my work now is with women to to reprogram the mind frame of this needy outlook that we have on festivals, where women just stand there, wait for almost
Waiting. Uh-huh.
guys to have the pity to dance with them. And I think it's so degrading, and it doesn't represent my culture. It doesn't represent Angolan women at all. And I'm inviting them to if they allow me to come to my workshops, where I call More Than a Follower. It's a workshop where I design and I teach women to have a different approach of music, and to teach how them to dance by themselves and with each other, but not as a couple, because that's already done and you always have when you have teachers.
Right, doing that.
But Rikita was saying in the previous in an interview how there was a song coming up, and sometimes Zouk comes and she just wants to dance by herself, and
Yeah.
and sometimes that actually a guy coming asking for a dance, he actually spoils the moment, because we actually just want to enjoy that dance by ourselves.
Yeah.
I want the ladies to be able to do that and enjoy, and not feel that they went to a festival and the guys didn't invite them to dance, they didn't enjoy themselves. That's not how it works. That's not how we do. And that's not how Africans listen to music. Song comes, you like it, you dance. And if you don't want to dance by yourself, you call a sister. Sisterhood is a huge part in our culture. So women dance with each other. As soon as Samba comes, my mom, my grandmother, my sisters will stand up and we open a big circle. We start dancing.
Okay.
Women in a circle. We don't question, we don't expect a man to come and dance. We just starting to dance and we're having the time of our lives.
Okay.
So that's this is the kind of things I think that keeps me bringing into the call. I don't want to be another teacher just going to go and teach steps and routines and that. I don't want to be that person. I want to teach people to appreciate music, to appreciate the culture, to appreciate the background, and teach them how we listen to music and how we celebrate.
Yeah. I want to ask you this, the second part. You were talking about how, the dance will come from this place and then it'll go here and get refined and go here and get refined and so on and so on.
Not sure if the refined is the right way, but it's just, that's probably the way to explain how.
Right. Yeah. Do you think that's what happened with urban kids?
Pretty much. Literally. Yeah.
Could you so listen, I've been dancing Kizomba for maybe the past 3 or 4 years.
Okay.
Explain to me, is it even possible? Can you explain to me the difference between Kizomba and urban kids? Is that possible?
It's the music. There is no Kizomba.
Okay.
Kizomba has a type of musicality that urban kids doesn't. Urban kids is very orientated in the dance. It's more focused on the dance, responding to the nuances of the beats.
Okay.
That most of the songs that they don't even need to have lyrics or anything. It just needs to have 1 or 2 beats, and they express the body in those nuances of the music.
Right.
Angolans, Africans dance to the melody of the dance. We dance to the melody. We don't dance to the beat. We use the beat to set the pace of the dance. We step in the pace, but the pace is dictated by the melody. This is why a lot of the times you would go to a place and you will see a song and Angolans are dancing on beat or in a certain rhythm, and every European is dancing in a different one because you guys follow the beat. And it was our fault. Again, remember what I said, that we are now covering mistakes that we did. We teach you to do that, but we didn't teach you that that's not how we listen to music. Do you understand what I mean?
So I want you.
Sure.
I say I want to understand what you mean by the melody. Can you expand on that? What do you mean?
I give you an example. You know the song Asayadela, Wawe Asayadela. You know that song?
I do not, unfortunately.
Okay, let me put the song for you. Can we do this?
Yes, fine. Yeah, yeah.
You're happy with that? Yes. Okay.
Who's it by?
Filho do Zua. It's an Angolan song. My singer. Like this song. You would probably think. I'll give you an example. For now, I only put and it's 15 seconds to the song. I would say that I don't want to say most or 90%, but a lot of the Europeans probably at this point is still dancing, right? Right, here we go. Everyone will be dancing by now. Dancing on beats, right? Every Angolan, as far as we're concerned, the song hasn't started until now.
You start singing or what?
When the guy starts singing. This is why we dance to the melody. Most of the time we wait the lyrics to come. Usually it's the lyrics. And then in this case he goes, it's a kind of very melody. If you listen to just the melody of the lyrics, Angolans would just be on a quick, slow, the whole song. Because to us, just listen to the lyrics. What Europeans and Americans listen is that beat, and they'll beat.
Right.
Whereas we just go na 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 na. This is what we're hearing. Asayadela, wawe, asayadela. It's a very melodic song. So we doesn't mean we don't do occasionally a virgule or an estrela occasionally, but most of the song, an Angolan leader, raw that never went to classes, who just dance, will dance this song quick, slow, the whole song.
I want let me add this real quick. So my first Kizomba instructor, she told me that, the vocals are essentially just another instrument.
Yeah, absolutely. That can be one way of interpreting
right.
it.
Yeah.
Which would probably the main one in our case.
Right.
But we can oscillate. I mean, if you know the song, and because we have our ears are so trained to listen to so many things in a song, sometimes we go from the lyrics to the saxophone, because saxophone is also very melodic, or it could be a piano or keyboard or something. But remember that the beat to us, it's just to set the pace of the song, but the melody, it's what we dance to. Every now and then we will go to that beat, do a virgula, do an estrella, but we go back to the melody. The melody we dance to. And then urban keys always on beat. Then they're always on beat. It's always about the beat. It's always about the beat. The music, their musicality is to express the different things that they listen to the music in at the same time.
Right.
And keep going from one to the other and one to the other. At least that's what I see. Of course, I'm not a very urban kid, as you can probably appreciate. And this is why we Angolans don't relate so much, because to us, the music doesn't tell us much. We don't have a connection with music. To us, it feels like an intro of a song that never starts.
Oh, wow.
There's no lyrics, there's no saxophone, there's no keyboard. Do you see what I mean? There is no melody to the song.
Okay.
It just feels like when is the song starting?
Yeah. Okay.
It feels like it's like a loop, an intro. But
it just keep and then the song ends.
We don't know how to express on that, because the music is instrumental with hardly any melody to it. To us, the melody that we are used to.
Yeah, I understand. So I mean, you might not even know this then. What are the origins of urban kids? Do you know? Is that a European thing or?
It's French.
French. Okay.
was the French who created first. I mean, it was actually created by African descendants, so Congolese mainly, and but it was born in France. I mean, that's 100,000%.
Okay.
A couple of guys who exactly did it. There is a big question. I mean, some say that they did, and the other one say they did.
Right.
I don't know who, and I don't want to obviously go that far.
Of course, that's not even that important.
And it was done there by someone, guys. And apart from that huge thing, which is the music, as far as the difference between urban keys, it's the dance itself. Urban keys is dance more in line. We dance in circles.
Okay.
They tend to dance, and they tend to have a lot of upper body movement. We don't have.
It's more, like frame is more important, right?
For them, was our frame stays intact.
Right.
Very rarely we move that frame, and we just everything is on the footwork and the waist.
Right.
With the urban keys, they move a lot of the shoulders. The girls do a lot of movements that we don't tend to do.
Okay, now I understand that. I want to ask you this. You already brought it up. Tell me more about your workshop, More Than a Follow.
Oh, sure. Well, it's my baby. Like recently, I've been working on it a couple of years now. And when I started, I had an idea of what I wanted to teach, but again, I didn't really know how I was going to express that. And now I have a bit more of a clear vision of what I want to express, and I've been doing it for a while now. And it's literally to change that. My pet peeve is to go to a festival, and I think it's extremely degrading to the women themselves and to the representation of my culture, especially women, African women, Angolan women, to see going to a festival and just standing waiting for men to come invite them for dance. I think it's not a nice look.
Right.
And I don't understand why there's no one teaching that culturally we don't do that, and I don't understand many things. So one is that. The second one is the lack of empathy there is between ladies in the dance floor. So there is so many women down there. Why are we not talking and socializing with each other? If the music is playing and no one come, why are you standing? If you're not dancing, at least talk to someone. Why is it so easy for us to glue and dance to a guy 7 songs in a row, complete stranger, up close, but not talking to a girl just next door to you? Start conversation. That lack of empathy, it's something very alien to us, because as African women, we are very close to each other as far as women, and we rely on each other to help each other and so on, for obvious reasons. So my tendency is, when I see girls, is to hang out and try to meet him. I was like, hi, my name is Tania. Nice to meet you. What's your name? And stay with girls. That's what we do. And no one is teaching these girls how to do that. And so that's the couple of things that I don't like. And then what my approach is, it's to invite them to reprogram their mindset of what music and dancing is. So in a sense of, we tend to use Kizomba, and I say we, obviously not me, but tend to use Kizomba as a dance that you pretty much submissive to a guy, right? It's a pair that you wait until the guy comes invites you to a dance, and then we appreciate music to make us feel good and to make us feel connected. And oftentimes we have an agenda sometimes, of why we went to that dancing scene, whether it's to meet someone or just because I want to connect with someone, or because I just came out of depression and Kizomba was the one who helped, whatever it is the reason. And I would like to reprogram the ladies to maybe just appreciate the dance for what it is, and teach and give them the tools to be able to dance by themselves and feel whole with themselves and other sisters.
Right.
because for an African woman who had so many hardships of, growing up and with, you know, all of us had different paths. But I give you an example. I told you that and I always keep bringing my stories because my stories that I can,
of course,
right. So when we came to Portugal, our parents of took over the low income jobs. So they were the cleaners, the ladies who cleaned the buildings and so on. I don't need to explain. But when we went to these clubs, we would dress up our best clothes. We would put our makeup, and right there, my mom was Mrs. Mendonca. She wasn't the cleaner lady.
okay, right.
See what I mean? She was whole. She was complete. And she was herself, and she was in amongst her own. If makes sense,
Yeah.
respect as such, right? With no discrimination from who you are.
Right, right.
So when we are in these environments and Samba comes and you enjoy enjoy the dance, it's like the world stopped for us. This is the one place and the one moment that no one cares what you're doing, who you look, how you look for. I usually say the biggest difference between European women and African women is that the Europeans will go on their trainers and their flat shoes, and they go there and they change into their dance shoes and they stay on the dance shoes forever, right? All night. So where African girls and African Angolan girls and ladies will go on nice heels, like big tall heels, dressed spot on, because that's the time we're coming into the club. We want to look amazing to create an impact. But when Semba comes, shoes come off. We usually if we have a long skirt, because you say if you're in a wedding or something, you'll just kind of grab your skirt to your waist and then put your hands in your head and the world stops. It's like the world, there's nothing on matters. And
Right.
that's kind of the spirit I want to teach the ladies, to enjoy that moment and just be present. A lot of thing I see, it's girls, a lot of the dances we see on YouTube and so on, it's a very male orientated dance where the guy is always doing all the footwork and the girl is just there keeping the beat. But it looks like he's having all the fun and she's just there, and I want to teach them that they have, in actual fact, the dance is led by the woman.
Oh, well, expand on that, please.
Well, when an Angolan guy or an African guy invites a lady to dance, someone who grew up with the culture, he doesn't know her, right? Let's say, and he usually starts slow and is connecting with that music, waiting for the music to start and so on. Usually, we dance to the songs we know, right? The songs we love. Remember what I told you that? So,
right.
Element music, amazing music, has to be there because he only dances the music he likes. Remember that. So a song comes up and he invites a lady to dance because he enjoys that. He likes that music.
Right.
He starts slow and he's starting to get to know her, right? What's a jinga like? What does she allowed to connect? She allowed to not to connect? He starts to so it becomes a communication. So he starts to do a few things like some virgula, some just steps to connect with her, to get
exactly
just to gain her trust. Depending on that jinga, depending on her flow, depending how she onto that.
Yeah, I get you.
They will make him wanting to do more.
Right.
Should she not respond in the same manner, he will stay on basics the rest of the night.
That's so true. Oh my goodness, that's so true.
Dance is dictated,
and that's any dance though. That's any dance, any partner dance.
Any dance.
Yeah.
The dance is dictated by the woman.
I never thought of it like that. That's so true though.
And but unfortunately, all the classes are orientated for men. We usually go, and it's all very men orientated, which is the step to the guy. Where it's not true. We should be teaching the ladies how to respond to that, and we should be teaching the guys that no, you're not going to give her any tricks, any favors unless she earns them.
Okay.
It's to learn how to be present, to enjoy yourself, and to be and to have a nice flow, to adapt to him, to adapt to the music. If she gives it too much, it's too much information. He will put him off. If she gives too less, he will feel that she doesn't really want to be there. If she's the connection, all these steps, all this energy exchange, you will sense in the first 20, 30 seconds of the song.
Definitely, yeah.
It will dictate what type of dance you're gonna have, but
yes,
and that's how we should. That's what More Than a Fall is all about.
Yeah.
It's about teaching the girls to be present, to cherish that moment, that one song that the guy chose her, not anyone else. It's never that moment. It's never gonna go back. You might have another moment with him. You might have another moment with that same song with another guy, but that one is never gonna come back. And then when we say, "Oh, this guy is a very good dance," doesn't apply in Kizomba, because the same dance I had with you might not be the same experience, because if her jinga doesn't match yours, you're not going to be the same as you dance with me.
Yeah.
How many times we heard girls was like, "Oh, you like dancing with him?" I had a terrible experience. Didn't like dancing with him at all. Well, it's because maybe you didn't like the song. Maybe you didn't respond the same way. So then he didn't connect with you the same way I connected with him.
Yeah, exactly. As I've had my girl tell me that, she'll see, an amazing lead who, he looks good with someone else, but she'll dance with it and it won't be the same.
Exactly. So maybe usually is the factor music, because we are, if you were inviting an Angolan guy to dance to a song that he didn't really choose to dance with, he's not going to perform the same way.
Exactly. He's going to bring a different energy.
No. But she can, if she's an amazing follower. If he feels that, damn, she's good, and he tries something and she follows. And we had a lot of footwork. I mean, growing up, like Rikita said, we had a lot of footwork, and the girl would do the same footwork. So he did a lot of breaks and a lot of testing things, and he would build up from one, and then more and more and more, and it became a funny game, but it wasn't like a mean to catch her, to for her to do a mistake. It wasn't about that. It was to see how far can she go, and it's amazing when you have that kind of connection with a guy. If the music it's right, it's heaven, and that's what I'd like to teach girls, to be that girl that the guy, when that favorite song comes, the guy does this. Be that girl. That's what I said. And it doesn't matter how you look like. So that, you're too old, or I'm too old and guys don't come with me. It's not true. It's not true.
I said a good follow is a good follow.
Totally no, not true. I was in Oslo, and the lady who invited me, she's over 50, and she said she goes to Angola, she comes to Lisbon, she goes and she never stops dancing, because she's an amazing follower. And you know how I met her? Because I was in a festival and I was just watching. I like to watch a lot. And I look her body movement, and I had to tell her, "You have a beautiful jinga. Your body flows." And she said she was having a terrible, terrible, terrible night that night, because no one was inviting her to dance. She was just standing there the whole night. She said, I was almost breaking to tears, because, I was just felt so degraded, because I was there, I paid, it was the first night I was there for and no one invited me to then give me a chance to even to.
Right.
Comes me and tells her that. She said that made it for her. And it just goes to show how this sisterhood thing goes to show that, it was a comment by another woman.
Yeah.
And it meant more to her than every dance that she had on that weekend.
Okay. I want to ask you this real quick. Do you think the issue of ladies, standing around waiting for leads to ask them, is that just a byproduct of congresses?
100%.
Okay.
In our culture, that's really like I'm still with,
because I said in Angola, y'all didn't really have congresses, did you all? Where you go? I said in Angola, you didn't really have a congress, right?
No, we didn't have none of that. It's starting to have. I'm still recording because I'm not in.
Mine is. Yeah, this man. I think we're good. Mine is.
I only see you. I don't see myself.
You might have to click back in. Oh, it just happened for me as well.
I don't know what happened there. Oh, let me see. Yeah,
I think okay. Yeah, we're good.
Sorry. Yeah, we didn't have festivals in Angola at the time. Now there is, and now there, because there's so many people, like new people. There's so many Portuguese people in Angola at the moment who want to learn. So now there's classes and schools everywhere. At the time, the dynamics of Kizomba after the war in Angola become schools of dance. So not to teach, but to come up with new things, just to create new creativity. And you could tell who came from which neighborhood by the way they're holding. There is this hold, like here, and then there's this hold where the guy puts the hand like that. That would just dictate what area you come from.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the Kizomba is the same, but he would just say, "Oh, he comes from that school of dance, which is that area, that neighborhood." And I neighborhood will come from, and you could tell who was what because the main dance will kind of be the same. And then they're just starting to create new steps or different versions of doing the same step, I guess.
Right.
So yeah, I think I lost what was the question again?
It's all good. The follows ladies standing around waiting for leads. That's a byproduct of the congresses.
Yeah, it's a byproduct of the congresses. I mean, by nature, we have women outnumber the guys anyway.
Oh, exactly.
In every life and everywhere, but in Kizomba is a particular phenomenon of women outnumbering the guys. I guess it's harder to get guys to come to Kizomba, but I guess women have a stronger connection with the music and with this dance, so you tend to attract more women than they attract guys. And
I think that's like all dances, though. Honestly, I don't know. I started with salsa.
Any salsas, you see, salsa festivals, and if I do, I'm teaching in the Kizomba, which I'll stay in the Kizomba. So I don't know if the ladies stand a lot, but in the salsa, it's more dynamic because the song stops, right? So you play one song and they stop, and then another song comes, and usually people dance one song only. Whereas in Kizomba, it's mixed. The music never stops, so you tend to dance many songs with the same partner. So the ladies tend to stand a lot more because there is not that break.
Right.
Allows people to change as
and what I meant was just the women outnumber the men. I think that's in all dances.
Oh yeah.
I think that's all.
I think it's in life.
All right, in life, there it is.
Yeah.
I want to ask you this real quick. I found some notes from I guess from your workshops.
Okay.
And so for myself and other people who are unable to take your workshops, I want you to try to just expand on these points, okay?
Okay, go.
So correcting your Kizomba walk. How can myself and others correct their Kizomba walk?
Right. It goes for both, right? Ladies and men.
Of course.
So when you dancing in Kizomba for the men, for instance, usually we usually say is that you tend to just teach people to dance as you would walk naturally. And people tend to just dance on beat, and then we say, oh no, but you have to dance with it. And so you kind of like put some movement to it. In Kizomba, the dancing posture for a man is different. If you notice, most of the time the guy is kind of leaning slightly forward, so the guy kind of curves to the girl.
So it's like giving a hug is what I've always heard it.
So it's important to correct that posture, that the guy actually curves slightly, and then he's slightly to lean, and his energy is on the ball of his feet. So he's barely the heels are not touching the floor when he's walking in Kizomba. He has always had that energy, and he's almost going to lose balance, and that's when he steps.
Okay.
That's this, approach. So that's when he needs to learn how to.
So hold on, just so I understand that's correct. That's the correct way.
The correct way.
Okay.
For Kizomba.
Okay.
The other tip is that when the guy walks in Kizomba, you always take your shoulder. So if you step back, your shoulder goes with it. If you step forward, your shoulder goes with it. So we're trying to avoid these steps where the guy goes back and the foot goes forward.
Right.
Terrible, horrible, wrong approach. For the girls, and then there's a lot more we can walk on that, right? But it's the hold and then the lean slightly forward for the guy. That would change the whole way you would dance. If you watch all the guys or any guy from the culture that grow up with culture, Rico, Eddie, Tocosta, I don't know, do Zangado, any Angolan guy who grew up with dancing Kizomba and Samba, you would notice he always slightly curved to the front. The back is never straight, it's slightly forward. For the girls, what we're trying to avoid is that European salsa, straight look.
Okay.
Angolan women are a bit more grounded. We touch the floor and we dance with the hips and with the waist. Our waist is always moving. It's always moving from one side. This is what we mean by jinga. But and it's about stepping in front of another foot as opposed to one foot next to the other. We actually step in front.
Okay.
We walk back into corridinho. We always step behind and we step in front of the other foot. That will change also, and it will force your body to move. So it forces your hips to move. If you step in front, your hips will move in a different way.
Yeah, okay. I can visualize that.
Yeah. And then so it takes that very light, almost insecure look of a woman, female dancing, which is fine, as in she's not making a mistake as far as following, but doesn't look appealing. The way she looks and the way it feels dancing, it feels like we're dancing with someone very light who follows perfectly well, but has no presence. Does that make sense?
So,
but you want, the idea is that you are light, but you are present. You have to be present.
Okay, that's a big thing.
With the body, not with a feather. We usually say you have to be a woman, and when we mean a woman, we mean curves, because that's how African men see women, curves, right? So it has to have the curves. You want to dance with a woman. A woman means personality, assertiveness, secure, funny. All these, because we talk, we have fun, we engage. All that you have to bring yourself, the whole woman, what it means to be a woman, into your dance, but be light as a feather. Does that make sense? So you have to have.
That's a lot.
You have to be cheeky. You have to be confident. If anything else in your life, you will not. In the dance floor, you have to be confident. If you're not confident, then no one will want to dance with you. And then that's what I would like to teach in the More Than a Follower to the ladies. Yeah. Respecting that walk is a huge part. If they just know how to do that, then it will change their dancing forever.
Okay, that's big. That's big. Shucks, you already went over a couple over. Let's say perfect your flow and following. I guess you might have already said that.
Yeah, it's pretty much the flow of an African approach. Remember that I always want to be true to that move that comes from the original hit, right?
Yeah.
Because that's what, to me, the whole point of teaching Kizomba is to not change the dance, the origin is of the dance. So I need to teach the ladies how to be African, the way we walk.
Okay.
And I'll bring them to all sorts. I'll bring scarves and I put pillows, so then I understand what it's like to have a booty. I dance in front of the mirror, and then I made them put the heads and the hands on the head, hands on the hips. And I go to extremes to teach the girls how to. I put buckets with stuff in their head so they understand how it's like to have.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
So I do a few things that, just to kind of let them be grounded and dance the floor, from the earth. That's how we dance, to experience how it's like to be an African woman. And it's like how, when you have that bucket in your head and music comes, how badly do you want to put that bucket down? So if you really want, and you're being done and walking under that hot sun with the baby wrapped in your back, and then maybe another two selling goods all day under the hot sun in Luanda, do you really think when she has a chance to dance, she's going to be worrying about the floor? Or if a guy comes asking for a dance,
Okay.
do you think she's going to be worried about uh, the way she looks and the heels and do you see her and the hair and the make? No, she just wants a chance to let that go. That moment, she's just dancing.
Yeah.
And tomorrow it's another day, and I'm gonna have to put that bucket again. Do you see?
Yeah.
You need to know how it's like to be an African woman.
Okay.
And to that, okay, I'm bringing you down to my mom, who also lost her husband, and she was pregnant, and then she had to immigrate and separate from her children, and she had to left with two kids by herself in a country that's in war. Do you really think that when my mom has a chance to dance, she's going to be worried about the way she looks in the dance floor and how a boot is moving? No, she's going to cherish that moment.
Right.
Like tomorrow is not going to come.
Right.
That's what I mean.
Okay.
Same as me in London. Same as, then I can come and give you different scenarios of how it's like to be
Yeah.
an African woman who has no opportunities as much as every other woman, who also gets discriminated by 1,000,000,000 things and grew up with no daddy at home, and has the fact that your kid is also growing up with no dad and all that. So when you put down all this, when you have a chance to dance, it shouldn't matter. Nothing else should matter.
I definitely understand that. I'll just go into the next one. I don't know if you're gonna repeat yourself, but Kizomba lady styling. Is that Jenga, or is it more than just the Jenga?
I call lady styling because that was the narrative that people were using to understand that it was a class orientated for women. But to me, it doesn't resemble none of the ones that we're doing that you see. I mean, the chances of you seeing me filming my booty rolling in
Okay.
next to zero.
Okay.
I would dance Samba, and I do move my hips, and I do teach, but it's more about how to express dance and music and Samba and the drums and the drums, and how we bring the traditional dances sometimes into our Samba music and so on, but not what Europe turned into.
Okay. Yeah, I understand. Well, let's talk about that then. African style versus European style. Can you?
Well, to me, ladies styling it's to teach ladies to dance Semba solos, which you can also apply to certain kizombas if they're real kizomba, like slightly faster with more instruments and all that. And it's just to teach ladies how to dance in this circle that I told you that when we dance. And you have a lot of things you can do, and we moved a lot of the arms, and we move a lot of the hips, and there's the few things that you can do by yourself, and you can enjoy the music. So that's what I usually teach on my Modern Follower and on Samba. And there's also the same steps you would do that sometimes a guy, when he's dancing Samba and he leaves the girl by herself, usually girls don't know what to do, and they just stay on the side, basically.
Right.
Lost because I never taught how to do Samba solos or Kizomba solos. Those are the steps that to me are lady styling versus European styles that we see a lot of girls dancing routines of dances by themselves.
So something like a routine of what they practiced before.
Yeah, but by themselves. I guess I can see. I guess I can, if I was to teach a class of that, I can explain to them, well, this is how you should be doing, blah, blah, blah. But to have a class orientated on doing steps that you were supposed to dance as a partner doesn't make much sense to me.
I say because you're expressing yourself, right? It's kind of like you're trying to teach someone your style, right? It's not really something you do.
It doesn't make sense to me.
Right. Yeah.
And doing routines of how you would dance a dance steps that are supposed to be danced as a partner dance. If you were going to teach this, there's another, no one's left to be taught to girls. That's called solos. There's African. That's Kizomba. There's Samba. That no one is teaching, and it's a lot more appropriate because that's what we do. It's actually what we do. We don't dance those steps by yourself. What you do is this circle dance, and we dance Samba steps with the hands, with the hips, and so on. So why are you not teaching that? Because that's what we do. That's nothing. This is not original. This is just, again, copying from what we see the ladies styling salsa, and we started to do it kizomba.
Okay. Yeah, you guys are kind of paying for those mistakes in the past. Yeah.
We are covering mistakes.
Okay.
I'm saying.
Let me ask you this: for beginner dancers who feel like they're stuck in a beginner's rut, who feel like they're not getting better, what advice can you give them?
My advice would be to do as much practice as you can. What I usually say to my students, one is don't limit yourself to just go to classes, right? Kizomba is a social dance. As much as possible, get to know the people that you go to classes with, and get to know the people that you go to classes or that you go to festivals with, and if possible, create those replicates of home parties that we used to have.
Okay, yeah.
Those are the best way to practice. Is when you practice with people you know that you are comfortable dancing with. The more you dance, the more you practice with people you know, that people you feel comfortable, the more easy it would flow.
Yeah.
For your path. If you just limit yourself to go to the classes, and to build that bridge from going from one class to the other, it's going to be a tough thing because you are limiting yourself to someone to tell you when are you ready or not ready.
Right.
And then if you just go to class and then you go home and you don't get to practice, it's just like driving. You might learn the rules, but it's by actually driving that you're going to learn how to drive.
Exactly. Right. Yeah.
When you first pass your test, you still feel not quite sure if you really should have been driving yourself. Am I really that? But the more you do it, it becomes more natural.
Exactly.
Right? Yeah. And if you do that and you start traveling with your friends to festivals, you will never complain about not dancing because you're dancing with friends, just like we did.
Let me ask you this: what is one tip that you can give to someone to make them a better dancer immediately?
I heard that question.
That's how you smiling.
What was the one thing that made him a better dancer immediately? It's to be grateful. Be grateful. If you learn to dance in a place of gratitude for this culture, understanding the hardships of Kizomba, you would never be worried about how good you are. You would just enjoy. You would pay justice to the dance, the music, and the lyrics and all that. This music was designed for you to enjoy. Kizomba means party, so means fun, means family, means if you don't worry about what other people think and what the more you do it from the place of gratitude and not because you want to be better, not because you want to, that would flow naturally because you have the right reason, right?
Yeah.
There, the motive of enjoying and be grateful, it's there. Therefore, you're always going to go up. You never go you're never going to feel stuck. You're never going to know. Do you know what I mean? You only want to strive. So that will come with do your homework. Don't, choose your teachers carefully. Today, you don't have an excuse to say, oh, but I didn't know, or my teacher this. No, you have internet. You know who's famous. You know who's important, who's not. Don't fall into the trap of going to festivals. Festivals are supposed to be about the fun and about the parties. If you go to a festival, follow the DJs. The DJs are a huge part that people are not talking about it enough to our culture. Those are the real artists in our culture.
Okay.
The DJ is the artist. I've never considered myself an artist. Not because I'm humble. I know my value. I understand I now understand what's my take into this Kizomba scene as far as teacher, as far as Angolan teacher, as far as a woman. It's to work with women. I can teach men. It's the culture side of things and everything. But the DJ is actually the real artist. He's the one who we should be following as opposed to teachers. Don't follow the teacher. If you will go to festival, follow the DJ. Follow the DJs. Follow a DJ who knows it all. Who can. He plays the type of music you're going to like. Who's not a sold out who just plays to entertain or plays for his friends or plays to entertain the masses, or he's just going to play. So no, go for a DJ that will educate you, that will take you back there, that will make you. When I was teaching and I was putting some music recently, and I was doing a class, a guy came and he was Nordic men are very big. They're big men. They're the original Aryan Nordic men.
Okay.
Norway, right? So I'm talking about 2 meters long man, broad, beard, and these men were crying their eyes out because I was telling him my stories. And of course, when I'm doing these one-to-one classes, I go deep and I tell him a little bit more into detail things that happen in our stories that, and he came to me and he said, for a moment, with the music you were playing and the things we were saying, you made me feel Angolan. Yeah. I was there. And that's what I think. Go for a DJ, they will take you there. That makes you feel like you were in those parties where my mom used to make us sleep under the table and, still dancing till the day rise. And we woke up at 6 o'clock in the morning and it's still dancing. And people are still, sitting down at the table and grandma is still there. That's the power of a DJ. The DJ will to play and to keep that and to then keep that feeling, and he will know how to play for you. Who's an African American guy who comes from a hip hop background? He will know how to play for me, who is an African middle-aged woman. He will know how to play for a European from Norway. He knows how to entertain and touch everyone. That's a DJ. That's what you should be following, not the teachers. Forget about the teachers. The teachers, you go for one-to-one. If you know that Rikita's in London, you travel to London and go to classes that Rikita do one-to-ones with her. That's spend your money. You're going to spend £300 in a festival anyway.
Yeah.
London. And you go and you're going to experience in a more, when I say Rikita, I mean, there's Josie, in London, you have amazing teachers.
Right. Yeah.
We had one thing we had good in London is that we always support each other.
Okay.
Even if we had our differences, we will still support. So if I couldn't teach in my regular class, I would make sure that I will invite someone that teaches the same style as me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
See my student that is getting good, I was like, hey, it's time for you to start teaching. You're like,
okay.
All right. So we instigate them, our favorite teachers, because we wanted to keep the good Kizomba alive. So we made our own students the next teachers because we know they're going to carry on our legacy, right? You see what? So, and we will call out every time there was a teacher who was not doing it right. We're like, on Facebook and like, I know it's not horrible. I know I was never.
You gotta you want to keep the product high.
Actually abusing, if he was abusive and people are charging money for people to learn this, that not knowing half of it, and when I see before, when I talk about Kassav and they don't know, I'm like, you're teaching Kizomba and you don't know who Kassav is?
That's major.
You have a problem.
Right, yeah.
I know, and that's it's terrible, right? Because
That is.
culture, there's a history behind it that needs to be respected. And
Yeah, that's big. I wanna ask you this. You were talking about DJs. Tell me about DJ Diaz Rodriguez.
Dias Rodrigues, oh my
Yeah,
God. Oh, so Dias Rodrigues, he was a very famous from my time. There was others. They became legendary. And then what Dias Rodrigues did, he became so popular in Angola because they did the reason I say the DJs were actually the real artists is because, like I said, our music wasn't recognized. So to become mainstream in the media, in the like radios or all that, it would be impossible. That's not going to happen, right? So what we did is what they wanted is to sell CDs. At the time, CDs were the big thing. So when they released a song, they will not tell anyone, apart from a certain DJs who are the like highly regarded DJs.
yeah.
So those ones were the ones responsible to make that song famous.
That's DJs are important in that aspect. Yeah.
And the DJ would be like playing on a club in Lisbon, and he will wait for like when the club would be like jam packed when he knows that
Uh
everyone
huh.
was like that, and then boom, he plays this new song. Everyone will be like, "Who's this? Who's this? Who's this song? I never heard this before." Oh, come on! I want to get it. I want to get it. Come try and get it. And he always trying to find someone who knows someone who knows someone who knows the DJ. So he's like, "Oh, my friend is the cousin of DJ Diaz Rodriguez." Like just having a cousin of DJ Diaz Rodriguez, you give you some credibility that
Okay.
in the Kizomba scene, it would be amazing. So the DJs are the real artists because they were the ones responsible to make the singers' music famous.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. I get you saying.
Who wanted to get hold of that song, only a certain DJs will have them. And eventually, when the musician release the songs into the CDs, everyone will be wanting to buy it because
Yeah.
famous DJ who has exclusivity of that song played it in certain clubs only. You see?
I get you. Yeah.
So he was that kind of dynamics were happening. So the DJs become the the, the gods of
Yeah. Exactly.
as far as I'm concerned, there are, and the DJ could not mess up as far as mixing, as far as the, energy.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
he's playing a zouk and then just break it down with some song that you will have nothing to do with it, which we'll see a lot in festivals because these DJs are not. They just think that all you have to do is match BPMs. They don't know that this
More than
song
that.
with this song. You can't put a tarashinha with a morna because a morna has culture song. It's a song. It's a lament. It's a suffering song. Tarashinha is a vulgar song.
Yeah. Exactly.
I mean, but because the BPM is the same and it sounds good, people mix it. And we, as Palops, we're like, huge mistake. This
Okay.
our culture would be enough to leave the party.
Oh wow. Okay.
Many parties that it didn't matter. So if you didn't go to yours, you go to another one. But that would be that kind of mistakes, one or two bad mistakes and mixing would be like you dancing, it doesn't big mistake. Everyone will like
Right.
look at come on. And then if he does it again, it's like, oh come on, because you're breaking the flow.
Right.
We are in the zone right there. I'm dancing, I'm in the zone. Don't break my flow.
Okay.
That even your mixing has to be so smooth because remember you only have that girl for 3 songs. So you have to put all your cards,
Yeah.
all your tricks have to come
Yeah.
out. That way you don't mess up this moment. It's all
Yeah.
that happen in the background, all these, dynamics is like so yeah, it's the DJs are, as far as I'm concerned,
Yeah. No, yeah, you said it proper. I definitely understand what you mean by that. I wanna ask you what are some of your upcoming events? What do you have going on in your life?
so I'm going to US.
Where and when?
So I'll be in Sour for 4th of July. with Oscar and oh God, I forgot her name, the wife. Forgive me, sorry. Never mind. So Sawa Sawa, 4th of July. That's in. I'm terrible with geography.
Oh, good. Yeah, I know. I definitely heard of the South South Festival. I know what you're talking about.
Sawa Sawa is probably the most. They say it was one of the most traditional festivals in the US at the moment.
Okay. Okay.
It's so much so that this guy doesn't even need to do to
Promote it.
not at all. South
Dang.
gets sold by.
I've definitely heard of it. That
Oh,
definitely.
it's just it gets sold by itself. I keep messaging him like, come on, guy. We're in May now. We're like, March, and you haven't even do this. Like, Tania, don't worry. We have a reputation for not having to promote, but I'm pretty much sold out, so don't worry. It's like,
Hey.
so we actually just released the whole event, and so
Okay.
things so Sawa Sawa, and then I will be at Amabu. I think this is the second edition or third edition, and this is in Seattle.
Okay.
In Seattle, I will also do a More Than a Follow workshop. So we will doing straight after the Amabu. So I'll do the Amabu festival, and then I will stay, and we're trying to do More Than a Follow.
Okay. Okay.
So we're trying to do something special,
Yeah. Yeah.
intensive for ladies. And then I will be doing different things here and then, but I'm still in the process of finishing them off. So I don't know exactly where, but I will be with Kimberly. You know Kimberly is?
I don't think so.
I think she's also in DC, and I'm doing something with her as well. Kimberly
Okay.
Nichols is her name.
Okay.
She's a very famous teacher as well. Lovely girl.
All right. I need to have her on the show in a second.
So far, those are the three events I have in the US. I want to go to Miami just to enjoy myself.
Hey. Hey.
I don't know. And then I will be at Steel City. Steel City? Steel City is special.
Okay.
Steel City Kizomba Festival. I think it's going to be the 4th edition now.
Is that Europe or US?
It's US, yeah. It's also
Okay.
Steel City in Pittsburgh.
Okay.
And I've been with them for 3 years now. The reason it's special is because it's kind of small, and he's very careful in the people he invites in his festival.
Okay, that's awesome.
He gets people who complement each other, and his name Mike. He's doing an amazing job in doing that. And what we usually do as well is I usually go before, and then on a Friday I cook Angolan food in his house. I know,
That's
right?
awesome. Yeah.
Me and Cesar, another guy, an Angolan guy, he was also teaches there. He lives there. Cesar, me and Cesar, we cook Angolan food only,
Hey.
and so we have that kind of house party feel sort of thing with food and music and people
Awesome. Yeah.
each other. So he became famous because of the traditional meal that I cook, and we've been doing this for years now.
That's awesome.
I cook for before, and then we have the festival, and then we will also, me and Cesar, do the cultural class where we sit down and we tell you this that I just told you.
Okay, that's awesome. That's always a good thing to do. Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to
Those are the three ones.
Okay.
Power, Amabo, and Steel City.
Okay.
Yeah.
I want to thank you, for taking time out your day to talk to me.
My pleasure.
Yeah. I took up more than enough of your time.
Hell, there's so much more to tell, so much things I could think it's like, oh, I should have mentioned about this, I should have mentioned about that, but hey.
Well, I think the wonderful thing is that, what I'm saying, if you're willing, we definitely could do this again, you know what I'm saying?
Oh, cool. Yeah.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, yeah. But yeah, I think this is.
See, I can talk for England.
But you have so much, knowledge and experience. You know what I'm saying? So it's so valuable.
Thank you.
Of course, yeah. Can you please let the people know how can people get in contact with you?
So my name is Tania Mendonca, and unfortunately, I reached my 5,000 friends in Facebook, which I'm kind of like debating whether I should do a second account, but I've reached my limit about 2 years ago, so I'm
Wow.
still, I know, but I still managed to just have one account. But because I have the More Than a Follower, I have a page called More Than a Follower, which I put the events about that. I have another page called About Kizomba, where I talk about the culture. Unfortunately, I only did one video, which is that one I show you. And it's been 2 years, I haven't done anything, but I have plans. I'm working on it. So I have another page called About Kizomba. I have the charity one where me and Hugo, DJ Hugo Boss, founded a few years ago to, every time there is a catastrophe happening in Motherland, we do events to raise money, just as is happening now in Mozambique. More Than a Follower, in partnership with Hugo and a couple of other guys, we're going to do a fundraising. So we do fundraising parties to help the community and give back, something like that. So that's what More Than a so Kizomba for Life is about. So that's Kizomba for Life, so like my other fourth. And then I do crafting. I do a lot of
exactly. Yeah, I was gonna talk about that. You have a store.
I do.
Yeah.
Don't have anything to sell right now, because what I usually do is every time I go to a festival, I sell on the festivals, and I'm being very lucky that people tend to buy everything I have. So
That's
I never
awesome.
have anything to put on my store, but I do everything myself. I don't buy
Awesome.
things, so I don't have factories. I don't order things from anyone. I literally have surrendered myself with. If you see my desk now, it's beads everywhere, and I
Okay.
from scratch, even my leather work and stuff like that. I do everything from scratch, so therefore I don't have masses of things to sell.
Right.
Limited number of things that I can sell in places, so that's why. But yeah, I have that. It's called Tania Mendonca.
Yeah.
And then my name on Instagram is Tania Mendonca.
Yeah.
Tania dot Mendonca.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see.
Yeah. When I post this to YouTube and everything, I'm gonna put all your links in the description below so people can find you.
Thank you. Cool. It's been a pleasure, Really nice.
Of course. Yeah, of course. Like I said, I want to thank you so much, for taking time with this. It's like what, midnight there, isn't it? 1 o'clock.
It's 1 o'clock in the
Yeah,
morning.
exactly. Yeah. I don't want to hold you up anymore, but seriously, thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
Anytime.
Yeah, we'll set up another time. I can't wait for you to come to the U.S. Hopefully, you'll come to New Orleans one day.
New Orleans. Actually, I have something. I think like who's teaching there?
Oh, I don't think anyone's teaching here.
Okay, I'm pretty sure there's someone from New Orleans who might be.
Okay, I hope so. If you come down, I have to take a class with you. Me and my girl have to take a private with you. I would love to do that.
Oh, anytime. But
Hey,
I'm sure we'll bump in some dance floor sometime.
of course. Look, I want to dance with you. Of course.
Well,
Like I said,
it was
yeah.
a pleasure. Thank you very much.
Of course. Thank you so much.
I appreciate you very much. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye. Ciao.
Ciao.
All right, so hey everyone. If you made it this far to the end of the video, I want to thank you so much for just, watching this. I really hope that you found value in this. My whole goal in this endeavor is, to give a voice to people, to dancers, and to give value to the dance community. So if I'm not giving value, it's kind of pointless. So I strongly urge you to please comment and let me know where I can improve, what I need to do better, what I'm doing wrong, and hopefully what I'm doing right, but my overall goal is I want to give content. I want to be helpful. So please let me know where I can improve upon. I'm new to all this, so I'm learning as I go. So I need feedback. Please comment and just let me know how I can improve. I would greatly appreciate that. That means the world to me, just to be able to interact with you all, have a conversation with you and just, see what you like and what you don't like. That means the world to me. I love interacting with you all. It means so much to me. But yeah, thank you so much for making it this far into the video. I gotta say, please leave a like, subscribe. If you don't like it, then let me know why not. Hit the down like button, hit the unlike button. But thank you so much. I really do appreciate it.